Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, this is Schoolboy, um, your Teacup affiliate with All About the Tea. I am typically giving a little kiki here and there about celebrity gossip, what new tea is dropping, and today I am debuting on my channel, School_Boy. So if you like the content I'm dropping, um, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. Um, this also helps me get those likes, those views to continue to build this platform that I am building here. I will be vlogging about my everyday life, questions about my life, TV shows, mental health, healing, wellness, anything you want to know, we will be talking about it, and we'll be having good in-depth conversations about everything that's happening in your world today. All right, so since this is my first video, everybody asked me to speak about me coming out, which was a very, very difficult time in my life. I learned a lot with coming out. It helps me be able to be comfortable with who I am today. And an inspiration for doing this video also is that Marcella, who also is a Teacup affiliate, who has her YouTube, which is Marcella Speaks. A young lady came into her live and she said, when my mom came onto a live with the panel, including myself, Bishop, Monica, and Plez, that she enjoyed our relationship and interaction, and it gave her the courage to come out. So I don't know what her name is, but congratulations, and I'm floored that I could even make somebody be that comfortable to come out to their parents and be an inspiration to someone. I would never think that I could do that at all. So for me, actually being that inspiration for you, that is so awesome. And I'm glad that everything worked out for you. In my story, it's a little bit different. It's not your typical happy-go-lucky story of coming out, or even just being able to getting to that point of being comfortable to come out. I knew that I was different around the age of 13. Of course, when you're going through puberty and things like that, your hormones are different. You feel different. You know, you don't exactly, I guess, feel like others do. For me, most of my friends were into boys and, dating and going out and hanging out with boys, and I just was not interested, and I was more interested in hanging out with the girlfriends, and for me it was a struggle and a tug of war, because I didn't really have an outlet or someone that I could talk to, or friends that really understood what I was feeling at that moment, because it was kind of still taboo to even talk about those things. And for me, I struggled a lot. I'm not going to lie to anybody and say that it was easy. So from middle school, I kind of went into high school, and I began to. I had a friend, and we were cool, and I was going through this awkward transition. My parents were divorcing at the time, and I was further kind of discovering who I was in high school. I wasn't comfortable in girls' clothes. I never was comfortable in girls' clothes. But when you don't, or not able to purchase your own clothes because you're not working, to buy the things that you want to wear, you have to wear what your parents buy you. So what I would do is I would go to school, and then I would sneak and go wear what I wanted to wear, which would be more of, the athletic kickback gear, boys' clothing. My mother hated that because she was like, I didn't raise a boy. And it's like, I'm not being a boy, and I'm not saying that I'm not a girl, and I'm not trying to, I'm just being me. This is what I'm comfortable wearing. It was a lot of butt whoopings because of, me changing clothes at school, and because I just was not comfortable. And it was a very, very emotional time for me to be able to just, say those things, or even acknowledge what I was feeling on the inside. So as I kind of went on, I did wind up, being cool with somebody in high school, and we became friends. And she was my girlfriend. Actually, my first girlfriend. So as I'm going through this journey of really still trying to learn me and figure out who I was, it was still an internal struggle because I was still trying to figure me out. I think my mom, she knew, but it was kind of like a thing that you just didn't understand. You didn't talk about it. You kind of ignored it. You kind of let it go. And it was just something that you didn't speak about. From then, we went a little bit further. And, we used to write notes back and forth to each other at school. Kids, when we was younger, that's what we did. That's how you knew you liked somebody. You wrote them notes in class, and we spent all of our time together. She was kind of like the first person that I could really divulge, what I felt to and how I felt. And I'll just go ahead and say her name because I don't really care. So, so Stephanie was my first girlfriend, and Stephanie was, I think it was a triumph for me because I was able to really just like get in depth with who I was, and she was able to help me tap into that. And one day, my mom found all my letters in the closet, and she saw that, me and Stephanie had this relationship, and she was just like, I didn't raise you like this. That's wrong. You're going to, that's not, that's not of God, da da da. And at the time, my mom was dating someone that was new in her life. For me, my stepfather was all I knew. That was my dad. I didn't even call him my stepdad. I call him my dad. That was, he raised me since the age of 3. So now she was with another man that I didn't really care for, because there was something about him that really just didn't sit right with my spirit. And not understanding that during that time, he had a jealousy and kind of like a hate for me, that I didn't quite get because I never did anything to him. I just, was also struggling with my teenage hormones myself, and then just struggling trying to find me and understand who I was. And, as I was continuing to do this, I'm sneaking off to be with Stephanie. A few times I got caught up. I got in trouble. My mom would take me to my stepdad's house. He would talk to me about things, and I would just kind of I would get frustrated because it was like, nobody's hearing me, but everybody's trying to sit down and talk to me, but nobody's getting to the root of what I'm feeling on the inside. Nobody's asking me shit about that. Everybody's asking me everything about everything else that's going on, but nobody's asking me how I feel. And by the time I graduated high school, I was at yet another crossroads again. I was hanging out in college, and I was, still trying to struggle with me on the inside and outside. And just, living a double life was getting to me because I had to be one way around my family, and then I had to be another way when I was around my friends. And it was just like, I got tired. And one night I was actually getting up from bed, and I had to use the restroom, and I heard my mom in there with her. He became her boyfriend, then he became her fiance, and they were in bed, and I heard him. They were having a conversation, and they were talking about me, and they were talking about all the things that I had been doing, because it was kind of like a rebellion mode for me. Like, I gave zero for anything. I was like really crying out for the attention, and I just wanted somebody to listen to me. But a lot of times we're in households where we're seen but we're not heard. Nobody really talks. Everybody just dictates and tells you what you can do and what you can't do, what you can say, what you cannot say. And so I just felt like, damn, nobody's listening to me. Nobody's asking me what I'm feeling. Nobody's even accepting and loving me and just saying it's okay. Just be you. And I was coming out of the bathroom, and I heard him say, if I could, I would kill her. And when my mom agreed with that in that moment, it's like, a piece of me broke, you know. I hurt a lot. I hurt a lot, and it was just like, damn, your moms was just like disown you like that because of your sexuality. Like you would, damn, you would agree with a man, you know. Um, and that was a hard pill to swallow, and I don't think sometimes parents understand that when you put someone above your kids, it really hurts them. Because not only does it invalidate their position in your life, but it also it really cuts to the core, So I went to my bedroom and I laid back down and I pretty much like cried myself to sleep that night. And so I gained really close to my mom's friend Ann. Ann was really, really cool, and one day I just was like, I came out to Ann and I was like, I'm gay. Like I know that I know this about myself. I know that I don't feel a certain way about men. Like I'm not even attracted to them. I don't have an ounce of wanting to be with a man. And like I would never want to marry somebody and ruin their life, by having children with them and building a falsity that I'm not even happy with. Well, of course, Ann didn't keep my secret. She told my mom, and when she did that, it was like all hell broke loose. My mom in that moment, like, I came home from college one day, and I came in or whatever, and my mom basically looked at me, and she was just like, sit down, we're going to have a conversation. Well, at the time, her fiance, then, eventually husband, was sitting there, and he said, so are you gay? You know, and my mom followed up. It looks like, yeah, because I'm finding all these notes in your bedroom in this shoebox to this girl, and you're just up here, acting like you don't, so what is it? Because I didn't raise you like this. And I was like, yeah, I'm gay. Yeah. So I'm tired. I'm tired of living a double life. I'm tired of faking it. I'm tired of, doing what I'm being told to do because it fits everybody else's narrative, but I'm not happy. And my mom was immediately upset, She told me I couldn't be that way. She didn't raise me like that. It was against the Bible. Told me to go to my room. She was like very, very angry and enraged. Later on that evening, me and my mom got into it. Like, got into it into a physical point. Hands on each other. My mom pushed me into a closet, broke it off the hinge. We literally fought. And not one of my proudest moments. But I felt at that moment like I had to defend myself. My mom, inevitably, when we got to a certain point, I did say it. I said, I effing hate you. I said it to my mom. Because I was so angry. I was so built up and I was so enraged because here I am being honest to you, being your kid and being honest. And you're supposed to teach me love and unconditional love and just being there. And it's like you're pushing me away and you're telling me I'm wrong for what I feel. And I can't help what I feel because I feel I'm born this way. But in your eyes, this is an embarrassment to you and this is not how you raised me and I'm wrong and everything else underneath the sun. And here I am breaking down, not understanding how you could just do me like this. I got to a point where my mom just ripped up my birth certificate right in front of me and said she didn't have a daughter. Sorry, this is just real raw. And in that moment, my heart broke. It broke in a different way that I could never say that any woman I've ever been with could ever break my heart. It truly broke that day. Shortly after that, I, of course, told my stepdad, I was like, look, I can't stay here no more because this is just too much. My mom didn't want me there anymore. She was, in the morning, like, she would kick me out of the house when it was time for her to go to work. Like, she would kick me out of the house because she didn't want me there during the daytime. It just got really, really uncomfortable. My stepdad at the time couldn't take me in, so he talked to my grandmother and sent me to Baltimore. I pretty much left everything that I knew in Arizona behind. That was mine, that's all I knew my entire life. And I went to Baltimore. And that's where I lived for about 7 years with my grandparents. And I further came into who I was as a person. That story is heavy to me because I know so often parents kick their kids out because they cannot cope and they can't deal with their child's sexuality. I went 10 years without speaking to my mom. 10 years. 10 years without a phone call, birthday card, Christmas card, nothing. If anything that I regretted, I think I regretted saying that I hated her because I didn't hate her. I loved her, but I just couldn't understand. I hated what she was doing. And I've always said, if I had kids, I would never let them feel that because that's a pain you don't necessarily get over. And it's, I think it kind of set the tone for the type of women that I dated for a long time because I was missing that love of a mother. And I would search for it in other things. It's painful at times to talk about it or think about it. I'll go back to that 19-year-old version of me. Because I fought so hard to get to the 34-year-old version of me, which is totally different from the 19-year-old version of me that was still trying to find out and figure out who I was because I was confused. But I knew I had to be true to myself. I know sometimes in the Black community we have very ingrained and instilled things in us, and they're not always the most positive things. There's a lot of times they're negative, and we don't realize how the negativity harms our children and it harms the generations that come after. If anybody can take anything from my coming out story was that, even with what I went through with my mom, I still persevered, and I continue going on to be a better person. But I understand that coming out to your family is very scary. And staying in the closet is very scary too. Because it's a constant tug of war and it's a constant fight, with what you feel and what you don't feel. How you love, what you don't love. I don't regret coming out because I think that I wouldn't be who I am today and be so comfortable in my skin Yes, what you see with me and my mom, the interaction, that's 10 years. That's me continuing the process of healing as well too, not just coming out, but also having to live life and take my own L's and my own life lessons to get to this point. That makes me who I am. But I guess I really want to speak to the parents on this. There's so many forums, there's so many different things that y'all can reach out to learn about the LGBTQIA plus community, to understand what your child is feeling. No, you're not going to understand always what they're feeling on the inside, because I didn't even understand what I was feeling on the inside. It's not a lifestyle. Please take that out of your vocabulary. It is, it's just what you feel different. You know different. You know that you are different. But just because you're different doesn't mean that you're a terrible person or you're less than. And it's okay to be different. And it's okay to live in your truth. And it's okay to love who you love and be who you are. But not all the time the world is so kind to you. So I think that what people need to understand is that when your kids come to you with this, hold them, hug them, tell them that you love them, because they're living their truth and they're being so raw and they're being so honest. The world is not going to be kind to them. The world will not always understand them. The world is not always going to love them in the same way that you can love them with that unconditional love. And we're missing that so bad in our community. All they want is love. And when you put them in the street, you disown them. They look for other places to get that love. I want y'all to understand that it takes tough skin to not only be a woman, a black woman, and be gay. Because automatically 3 strikes in your life that you struggle with every single day. If this story helps one person, one mother, one father, one uncle, cousin, auntie, whoever, understand their niece, their nephew, their son, their daughter, I'm grateful for that. Of course, this is not all of my coming out story. This is just me coming to terms with who I was. But I wanted to give y'all the meat and potatoes and the gist to help you understand that I've gone through some ish to get to where I am now, to be comfortable with who I am. But I also understand where not to make the mistakes at anymore. And to be better than the examples that were set in front of me. So, anybody that's struggling, that's watching this video, or is struggling about who they are, live your truth. You only got one life. And yes, you'll lose friends, you'll lose family members. They'll come back. If they love you, they'll come back. Because the battle isn't you with them. The battle is their own emotions that they feel, and stigmatisms and prejudices within themselves. Keep loving them. Don't stop loving them. Even if they stop loving you. But always live in your truth. And love who you are. Because you're always going to be the first person that teaches you what love is about. That self-love is no better thing. So, if you liked so if you understand where I'm coming from, in what I've explained to you guys here. This is just a little bit of my synopsis of my life. This is not all my life. I'll slowly peel back the onion for you guys and give you a little bit more. But this was a topic that everybody wanted to know, and so I gave you a little bit of I gave you the meat and potatoes of me coming out, and more videos are to come. I love y'all. This is my first video, so y'all bear with me. I'm gonna get better as I go on, but I love y'all. Have a good night, and thank you for watching. And continue to watch me on All About the Tea, and I will continue to give y'all a little bit more about my life and vlogging and just any and everything. Good night, y'all.